Hello everyone. I hope you all are fine. Today we are conducting the webinar on procedure of busy database conversion. In this webinar, I will explain what process of data conversion in busy software is. This is very important topic. So please watch the webinar carefully. And if you have any doubts and queries, you can ask at the end of the session. You can send me your queries in Q&A. So I will reply. Now I'm starting this session. So please listen the topic carefully and note down your doubts and queries, and you can ask me at the end of the session. Now I'm starting the webinar. First, what are the session objectives? Means in this session, what you will learn. So number one is overview, type of database in busy software. Number two, description of database. Number three, comparison access versus SQL database. Number four, needs of data conversion. Number five, steps for access to MS SQL data conversion. Steps for MS SQL to access data conversion. Steps for SQL to SQL data conversion in other version. And at last is Q&A. So you can send me your queries in end. So first is overview. So in the overview, I will explain short introduction of database. And the second is description of database. So means I will explain you the definition of database. And number three is comparison between MS Access and MS SQL. Means what are the difference between in MS SQL database and MS SQL database. And need of the database conversion is why does the data need to be converted. So now I'm starting the first topic is overview. So database in Busy, as you know, Busy is on-premise software, means it is a desktop-based software. Data will be stored on the local system. So we use Microsoft database in which data files are created, and Busy software shows these database files in its application. So type of database in Busy software is MS Access and MS SQL. Both database are belongs to Microsoft. So MS Access and MS SQL. We have two type of database, and when we create a company, so we can use MS Access database and we can use MS SQL database. The first is what is MS Access database? So it is a Microsoft database. Microsoft Access is a database management system, DBMS, from Microsoft that combines the relational Microsoft Jet database engine with a graphical user interface and software development tool. It is a member of the Microsoft Office suite of applications, including in the professional and higher editions. So this is the Microsoft database MS Access, and next is MS SQL. So what is MS SQL database? MS SQL is an acronym that stands for Microsoft Structured Query Language. MS SQL is the same thing as MS SQL Server. Microsoft SQL Server is a relation database management program rather than being a database. It is a program that allow user to organize and navigate through tables of the data. So customization is easily possible in MS SQL database. We can easily apply the SQL queries and to making a new reports. So this is the MS SQL database. Next, comparison of database in Busy software. So we have two type of database, you know that, MS Access and MS SQL. And what is the comparison? The first point is single location can be managed in Access database, and in MS SQL database, multiple location can be managed. So if you want to use Busy software in single location at multiple system, then you can use MS Access database. And if you want to use Busy on multiple locations, whether it is a single system or multiple system, so for multiple location, you have to use MS SQL database. So this is the difference. The second difference is in multi-user license, many users can work at a single location. So if you want to use Access database, then you can purchase multi-user, you can purchase single user, but for single location only. So in multi-user license, many user can work at a single location in case of MS Access database. But in SQL, according to the count of the system, and the count has to be added to the license. So you have to count number of system, doesn't matter how many locations, you can add the count as per the system counts in the license and you can use. So for multiple location, you can use MS SQL. For single location, you can use MS Access database. Third difference is no need to install other applications. So in Access database, no need to install other application, other setup. But if you want to use MS SQL database, then you have to install MS SQL Management Studio and Configuration Manager. So these applications must be installed in case of MS SQL. Next, comparison is low data size can be managed. So Access database can manage the low data size and SQL can manage heavy data size. So this is the difference. Next, speed can be slow. In Access database, speed can be slow if data size is heavy. So if your data size is increasing day by day in Access database, then speed can be slow. But in SQL, speed will fast. It doesn't matter your data size is high or heavy or not more. So you can easily use MS SQL database. Speed will not slow. Okay, speed will fast. Next, only multi-branch can be configured at single location. In Access database, you can configure multi-branches, but for single location only. In single location and your all the systems are connected with the same network, then you can create multi-branches, but for single location only. In SQL database, you can configure head office, branch office, doesn't matter is a single location or multiple location. You can configure easily. Online and offline HOBO can be configured. Both module are possible in MS SQL database. So if you want to use busy in multi branches at multiple locations, then you have to configure database MS SQL, because head office and branch office, centralized server, multiple location, these all things are possible with MS SQL database only, not in MS Access. And the last comparison is Access database is available in all the edition of Busy software. So as you know that Busy have all three editions: basic, standard, and enterprise. So all the editions are uh, possible. All the editions are compatible with Access database, and we can purchase Busy license for basic, for standard, for enterprise edition, and all the database are possible in all the editions. Access database is possible in all the editions. And MS SQL database is not possible in basic edition. So if you want to use MS SQL database, then you have to purchase standard or enterprise edition, because SQL database is available in standard and enterprise edition only, not in basic edition. So this is the comparison. And next is needs database conversion. So let me explain you the reason one by one. First is access to SQL. If you are converting the data MS Access to SQL database, means why does the data need to be converted access to SQL? What reason can be? First reason is in case of runtime error for data repairing. Let me give an example. Suppose your company is running in Access database and runtime error is coming in the company, and you have already run all the utilities like rewrite books, reindex database, update master balance, junk character, and regenerate master file also. So these all utility you already run, but runtime error is still coming. Then how can you repair the data? So in this case, you can do one thing. You can convert the data in Access to SQL, and convert again SQL to Access. So your database files will be refreshed and the runtime error will not come. So you can repair the data through Access to SQL or SQL to Access. So for data repairing, you can use this. Next is if you want to use the Busy in multi-location. Suppose your company is running in the Access database, and you want to use busy on the multiple location, but now you are using in a single location. But in SQL, then you can use the busy license on multiple location. Next point is data size has become heavy. So if your transaction are many in one day, then your data size increases very fast. And if your data size increases too much, then busy in access database can be hang, because access database cannot maintain heavy data size. So in this case, you can convert the data from access to SQL, and you can easily maintain your data, your company in SQL database. Next point is the speed has slowed down. If you want to increase your speed of working in busy software, so you have to convert your data access to SQL. Next is SQL to access. So means, why does the data need to be converted SQL to access? What reason can be? So first reason is, if you want to use the busy in multi-user license at single location, in SQL database does not has multi-user. If you want to run busy on multiple system in single location in SQL database, then in Access database, then you have to purchase the count license as per the system count in SQL database. If you want to use busy on multi-user license, busy with multi-user license at a single location, then you have to convert your data SQL to access, and you have to convert your license also SQL to access. Then you can easily use busy on multiple system at single location in with multi-user license. Next is system configuration is low. If your system configuration is low and old, then MS SQL setup can be hang or stuck. In this case, you have to convert your data from MS SQL to Access, and use Access database in busy. So if your configuration is low, then Access database is possible. If you want to use, if your data size is low, if your configuration is low, so you can easily use MS Access database. Data size is small. Third point is data size is small. So if data size is small, or number of transaction is not more, then you can easily use busy software with Access database, and you can convert your data SQL to Access. So these are the reasons. Next is SQL to SQL. If you want to convert your data SQL to SQL, means the reason is downgrade the data version. Let me give an example. Suppose you're running a company in busy software. SQL Server version is 2019, and you want to restore the same data on another system, and another system is using SQL Server 2014. In this case, you have to downgrade your data, because you can restore because you can restore the lower version data in higher version, but you cannot restore the higher version data in low version. So you have to convert your data MS SQL 2019 to MS SQL 2014. Then you can run this data in SQL 2014. So if you want to downgrade your data version, you can convert your data SQL to SQL. So these are the reasons. Next, steps in busy. So these steps you have to follow for data conversion. If you are converting your data access to SQL, SQL to access, SQL to SQL, step one is open the company in existing database. So suppose you are your existing database is SQL or Access. So first of all, you have to open your company and check the beginning date of financial year and other details of company like country, state, and other details, etc. So this is the step one. You have to open your company in the existing database. Doesn't matter if it is SQL or Access. You have to open and you have to check the beginning date, the starting date of financial year. Suppose the current financial year beginning date is 1st April 2023. This is the current year beginning date, current financial year beginning date. So you have to check the beginning date of the financial year in the company, and other details like country and state. Okay, and currency also. So these details you have to check. This is the first step. Second step is open busy in the database to be converted. So suppose you want to convert your data in SQL from Access. So you have to create a company in SQL database with the same beginning financial year date and other details. So this is the step two. Open busy in the converted database and create a company with same details, same financial year beginning date and country, state, and other details also. Number three. So in a new company, you have to go in administration, data export, import from Access. If you are converting your data Access to SQL or SQL to Access, so you have the options in data export, import, and you can use these options. You have to specify the data path. If you are converting your data Access to SQL, then you have to specify the data path. And if you are converting your data SQL to Access, then you have to specify SQL information in existing company. Next, step 5. Step 5 is select the existing company and specify the correct username and password. So you have to specify correct super username and password. And the last step 6 is click on import. So your data will convert easily. Let me show you with image. This is the step 1. Open the company in existing database and check the beginning date of financial year and other details. So you can see the image. This is the image you can see. So you can go in edit company or modify company and you can check the beginning date, beginning financial date. The date is 1st April 2023, you can see, and country and state. So these details you have to check in existing company. If you are converting your data Access to SQL or SQL to Access, first of all, you have to check the details in existing company, the beginning financial date and country and state. Step 2. So step 2 is open company in the database to be converted and create a company with same beginning financial year date and other details. So if you are converting your data Access to SQL, then you have to open busy in SQL database and create a new company with same details, same beginning date. You can see the details are showing here, and beginning financial detail and country and state. So you have to create a new company with same details. Next, in a new company, you have to go administration, data export, import, and these are the two options. You can see import data from MS Access and import data from MS SQL. So these options you can see, you can use this utilities option. And the next step is step 4, specify busy data path if you are converting your data MS Access to SQL. So this is the image you can see. You have to specify the data path, and if you are converting data SQL to Access, then you have to specify the information of MS SQL Server, username and password. Next, select the existing company and specify the correct username and password. So when you give the path or server SQL information, so company will show in the drop down list, company name you can see in the list, and you have to select the company, specify the correct username and password, and click on import. So click on import and convert the data. So after clicking on import, some process will run and your data will convert successfully. Let us see the practical demo. So what are the steps you have to follow? Let me show you in Busy software. See, first of all, I am opening my company in MS Access database. Let me show you. You can go in select data model. You can see on the top is showing model EM. EM is enterprise multi-user, and multi-user licenses belongs to MS Access database. Let me select the data directory. My company is available in which data path. We have to specify the data path first. See, this is my company, MS Access company busy. I'm opening my company. So this is my Access company, Access database company, and I want to convert this company in SQL. So first of all, the step one is we have to check the beginning financial year date. So we have to go in edit company. See, so this is my company detail, and you can check financial year beginning from 1st April 2023, and the country is India and state is Delhi. So these details we have to check. Next. So this is my Access database company, and close the busy. Now I want to open busy in SQL model. Okay, so let me open in SQL EC. EC means enterprise client server. So now I'm open busy in SQL database, and see set server SQL information. So we have to specify the SQL server information, and the SQL server information you can get from SQL. See, this is my SQL Server Management Studio. Setup is opening. This setup you can download from the internet, and you can install in your system Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. The latest version of SQL is 2022. I think this application is misbehaving. Don't worry, no problem. This is my SQL Server name, and this is my password of SQL Server. Save the details, and now I'm creating a new company. So my company name is SQL, and India, Delhi, and the financial year beginning date is 1st April 2023, same as Access database company. Now save the company. This is the step 2. You have to create a company in a new database, in different database like MS SQL. If you are converting your data access to SQL, then you have to open busy in SQL database, and you have to create a new company with same details. So this is the step 2. So company creating in SQL database. First, I'm converting my Access database in SQL database from Access to SQL. Company is creating, and then now see. So company is created successfully. Let me click on OK, and user authentication is disabled. Now company is created. This is a fresh company. Now the step 3. Step 3 is you have to go in data export import, And now I'm converting the data access to SQL. So you have to click on import data from access. This option you have to use, and you have to specify the data path. So see, let me select the data path. So my company is available in this folder. Click on arrow. Now see, this is my company, MS Access Company Busy. Click on select and click on import. Click on yes. Now see, all the information, all the details, transaction master, everything importing from MS Access Company in SQL database. Process is running and data is importing from MS Access Company. See, data converted successfully. Process is done. And now let me verify. So now I am opening busy software in Access database. EM is enterprise multi-user, and multi-user license belongs to MS Access database. So this is my MS Access company, and let me show you the details. See, the checklist, voucher statics. Now see, the total vouchers are posted in MS Access companies, total 15 voucher. You can see the list. And now I'm opening busy software in a SQL database, and this is a converted company, imported company. And now I'm showing the checklist, voucher statics. You can see, so all the vouchers are imported. See, 15 is coming, and all transaction imported successfully. See, this is SQL company. So this is the this is the first topic, access to SQL. Let me convert the data SQL to access. So first of all, we have to open busy in SQL database. EC means enterprise client server. See, open company, and two companies are available. Second company is MS SQL data company busy. Let me open this company. So this is the step one. We have to open companies and in existing database and go in edit company and check the details. Now see, this is my SQL company, and country state, you can see state is Delhi, country is India, and the financial beginning date is 1st April 2023. And let me check the transaction checklist, voucher statics. So total vouchers are posted, are entered in SQL is total voucher is 50. Okay, so this is the SQL company. Now this company I want to import in Access. Okay, so the step 2 is we have to create a new company in Access database. So let me open busy software in Access database. EM means enterprise multi-user. So this is my Access database. You can see it's showing set data directory. And let me create a company. A new company is, this is Access. And I want to convert the data SQL to Access. Okay, so I'm creating a new company in Access database. Country India, state Delhi, and the financial beginning date is 1st April 2023. We have to create a new company with same details. Save the company. Now company is created. Process is running, company is creating, and
A successful company created successfully. User authentication disabled and save the company. So this is my access database company, fresh company. And let me go in SQL database. This is my SQL database company. Let me close this company and check the server information. The server information is this, and the username and password, all the details. And this is my access database company. And step 2 is we have to go in data export import. And now we have to import data from SQL because this is access company, and we have to convert the data SQL to access. So we have to import the data from SQL. Click on this option. This is the SQL server information, same as you can see. This is the information, same information you have to specify here. Click on down arrow and see two companies are showing, and I want to import second company, MS SQL data company busy. This company I want to import. Select this company and click on import. Yes, and now see data is importing from SQL company. This time we are importing data from SQL company to Access company. Okay, and your company is successfully imported. See, this is the company. And now I want to verify the transaction. So let me go in checklist voucher statics. It's showing 50 vouchers. You can see, you can open the list also. All the transaction imported successfully and your data is converted. So this is the step. Next, let me open busy software in SQL database. And if you want to convert your data SQL to SQL, means you want to downgrade your data, you want to downgrade your data version. So this is the SQL company, and go in data export import, and you can enter on this option import data from SQL, and click on import different import from different SQL. So you have to install the uh, downgrade version of SQL in the system, then you can import the data from SQL to SQL. So this is the process to convert data conversion of SQL to SQL. So these are the three topics: access to SQL, SQL to access, and SQL to SQL. You have to go in data export import, and these two options are available. You want to import the data from access company, and you want to import the data from SQL company. So these options you can select. You can use these options to for data converging. So this is the today's webinar. For further assistance, call to our help desk. 24/7 supports are available. Contact number is 5x82. You can dial, and the email ID of support is support@busy.in. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Busy Accounting Software. You can search on YouTube and subscribe to our channel, so latest videos and notification will receive. And thank you very much for joining this webinar.